Hi, I'm David Albanian. You are watching Top Tennis Training.
Hey guys, Simon here from Top Tennis Training, and here's a video with a couple of tips that will transform your forehand. So, one of the biggest things I see when I watch club players hitting their forehand, first thing is they get jammed up, so they get quite close to the ball or the ball's too far away from them. Now this comes from tracking the ball from your opponent's strings. So when my opponent hits the ball, or my training partner or coach, I want to see the ball traveling off their racket, because the earlier I pick up where the ball is going, the earlier I can get in that position where I think I have to set up for that shot. Now when the ball bounces on your side, a common thing that I see a lot of club players doing is they're in that preparation phase for the forehand, they'll be waiting, and as the ball bounces, they'll look up to where they want to hit the ball, or they'll look up to the court. Now this is one of the worst things you can do in your tennis game, and if you watch Roger Federer, he'll watch the ball all the way until he makes contact with that ball. Now the contact point is so quick that it's almost impossible for the human eye to see that ball if it's traveling at fast speeds, especially if you're making contact and accelerating quite quick. It's almost impossible to see that contact point. However, you can see the ball bouncing and coming up to your racket, and you can also see the ball flying off your racket. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to see the ball hitting your strings. That's almost impossible unless the ball's traveling slower, but you can see the ball coming up to your racket, and you can also see the ball coming off your racket. So that's the first tip. Try to see the contact point on that forehand and try to see the ball rising up to your strings and the ball flying off your strings. And tip number two, I see a lot of club players, they'll change their finish. So the follow through on the forehand, sometimes they'll finish here, sometimes they'll come across, sometimes they'll come above their head. So they'll change the finish, or they'll rush the finish. So even if they finish properly, they'll come out real quick. So I see this quite a lot. Now you want that finish to be smooth and relaxed. Now there are different finishes on the forehand. In fact, there are 5 finishes, and this is something we cover in our forehand course. However, professionals will almost always follow through, and they'll almost always finish across the body. Nadal, he's one of the players who finishes above the head quite a lot, but most other professionals, Federer, he'll come across his body, sometimes he'll come over his shoulder, sometimes across the chest, over the left shoulder. Djokovic, he finishes above his shoulder sometimes, finishes across his chest sometimes, and he finishes down sometimes. However, they all have a finish. So next time you go out and play the game, hold that finish, whichever one you want, hold that finish for a couple of seconds. Just the first 10 or 15 forehands you hit, go out there, hit the ball, hold that finish, just to groove that shot and to make sure that you get in the habit of holding that end part of the stroke. So here's an example of what I mean. I might be rallying with my partner or with my coach, and I hit that shot, and I want to hold that finish for a couple of seconds just to make that a habit of finishing all the way. So one more time. Then I'm ready for the next shot. So hopefully these tips will help you out the next time you play the game. If you like this video, please click the like button. We also have a whole course based around the forehandblueprint.com. I'll leave a link under this video. And if you like these instant tips, you could also find a whole course at instanttennis.tips. Thanks for watching, guys.